Good morning and a happy Wednesday to each and every single one of you. Today, Wednesday, my energy levels are substantially low. You know, you get those mornings where you wake up and you're feeling absolutely flat. In my case, I'm sure it had something to do with the fact that overnight the temperatures did not drop below 90 once for the entire night. And here in this part of Spain, we don't use air conditioners. We don't have air conditioners. Um, Simply because of the energy drain as far as the grid in this part of Spain is concerned. Everybody running air conditioners, the grid would simply not be able to cope with something like that here in the rural part of Spain. So when on a morning waking up feeling completely flat and run down, the easiest thing to do would be just to roll over, go back to sleep. But when it comes to the mental health aspect of getting exercise in, at least from my perspective, and coping with um, life since Catalina's passing just over a month ago, getting up, getting out, doing exercise is vital. That endorphin boost helps to carry me through the rest of the day. If I had to give in to the feeling completely flat this morning and not go out and exercise, for me it feels almost like that would be a slippery slope right down into curled up into a pity ball. So from that perspective, I just simply have to get out and do something. Although with the heat being what it is at the moment, my ride this morning is substantially shorter than what it is just here to my local fountain that you can hear over there behind me, to fill up on some water. This will be, if I work it out, that's about 15 pounds of water in there. Was that 7.5 kilos? Yes, 15 pounds. And that's what I'll be carrying back over the mountain, back to my place. The ride length is going to be probably somewhere in the ballpark of between 18 and 20 kilometers. So that's what, somewhere around about 30 miles or so. No, sorry, it's the other way around. It'll be about uh, what's it? It'll be about 18, 20, but about 14, 15 miles. So substantially less than normal, but at least I'm getting out, getting something done, and making something happen. Now, there's one very important factor that I will mention is that when it gets so hot, what I do is I take before setting off on the second half of my ride, I take my helmet off, and under my helmet, as you can see, I've got this bandana on. There's a fountain over there that there's a dog that's come wandering down the path and is trying to cool itself off under the fountain. But what I'll be doing is I'll be taking this bandana, without ruining my glasses, we're taking this bandana, letting the water from the fountain run across the bandana, put it back onto my head so that the tassels of the bandana drip down my back and cool me down for the ride heading back home, so that I don't overheat completely. But anyway, somebody did ask me about why bother with the daily exercise, and from my perspective it's a case of I just simply have to do it from the perspective of my own mental health, because not exercising is the first step in a slippery slope down into about a depression. So anyway, with that said, let me get back on the bike, back home, have some oatmeal, some coffee, a nice shower, and get stuck into a massive amount of content. But there are a couple of other jobs that I need to do in between, which I'll explain to you once I'm back at home in my office. Speak to you then. Cheers. Hi there, the time's just gone 11:30, and as you can probably see from the reflection from the sun coming in at the window, my face is glistening and I'm in the relative cool of indoors. Temperatures outside there, now 11:30, we well into the low 40s already, and due to be climbing quite a bit higher. Something that I can bring you up to date as far as all of that's concerned, and any bike rides that I might do for the rest of the week. will most definitely be at around about first light, because what has now merely been hot weather has now just been officially upgraded to a heat wave that goes by the name of Cerberus. That's right. You have to know that this is an extreme heat wave when it gets named after Greek mythology's Hound of Hades and the 12th labor of Hercules. The hounds of hell that were the multi-headed hound of hell that was on guard to prevent the dead from being able to escape from Hades. That's Cerberus, and that's the name that's been attributed to this heat wave that we've got going on at the moment. And apparently the south of Italy and Sicily has got it the worst. They're due to be having somewhere between 48 and 50 degrees centigrade. I'm not too sure what that is on the Fahrenheit scale. And here in the south of Spain, we're lucky, we're only going to be at about 44 degrees centigrade, or that might bump up to 46 sometime. And these temperatures are due to be in place through the remaining of this week, and maybe last even longer. The reason for this heat wave is apparently a blast of super hot air that's wafted over the south of Italy and the south of Spain from the Sahara Desert, and that's what we've got to thank for all of this. Anyway, I'm going to be keeping myself hydrated, keeping myself as cool as I possibly can, and crack on with hitting as much content as I possibly can do. 6:30 this evening, I've got a Project 24 mastermind session. That's going to be an individual content work hour where it's basically a Project 24 accountability group. We get together, tell each other what we're going to be doing over the course of that next hour, and then see if we can hit that specific little short-term goal. And it's a wonderful type of mastermind, simply because we're working with and getting inspiration from each other, people all over the world, but effectively doing the same thing of content creation. A little bit along the lines of what I'm trying to do with these daily videos. Because without any type of outside interaction, it just feels like Groundhog Day, doing the same thing day after day after day. And by having some degree of interaction with like-minded people, with like-minded content creators, it just adds a little bit of a dimension to that, and it gives you a sense of feeling of moving towards something, rather than just throwing words out into the ether, which it can easily get to be. Anyway, let me get cracking and crank out a massive amount of content during the first part of the day, and then during the Project 24 content hour, what I'm going to be doing there is that's going to be specifically voice typing 2, maybe 3 blog posts that are going to be going onto the trail run blog, the main trail run blog that I've got. Anyway, let me get cracking. Speak to you a bit later. I'll definitely speak to you before the content hour starts, maybe shortly after that, after it again, just before I start editing this video. Anyway, let me get cracking on content. You do so too on your side, and let's be massively productive together. And a good evening to you. The time has just gone about 7:30. I've got about a half an hour until my Project 24 session starts. Earlier on, I had a Zoom call with the guys from Ezoic talking about integrated article ads, and it's definitely something that I want to make sure that don't appear on my blogs at all, but it's maybe something that I can discuss with you in a future video when we can make the topic of the vlog slightly more about exactly what that is. Anyway, I've got to do some preparation for my Project 24 work hour that's coming up. And one thing that I do want to just point out is my word count total for today was 2,067, and I've got 2,444 done so far. And if I'm able to really crank out the content properly during the work hour, I should be able to lift that number by a significant amount. But I need to now go and do the preparation work so that I can get the most of my voice typing during the Project 24 work hour, which starts in slightly less than half an hour. I'll speak to you after that session and let you know how it all went. Till then, cheers. Good evening. The time has gone 10 o'clock already. I've finished my Project 24 mastermind. I got through 2 blog posts, and within those 2 blog posts, it was voice typing, and I got all the copy done under each of the subheadings of those two blog posts, which leaves me a task for tomorrow morning after my bike ride of editing those couple of blocks of text, and then adding the intro paragraph and the answer targets for each one of those. And some of that text I may even start editing out this evening already, once I've finished editing this very video, and that is busy rendering and or uploading to the internet. So that's where I'm at the moment. Been a super productive day, though. The subheadings on those 2 blog posts, that's another 2,000 odd words of content. So it's taken me up to 4,500 words of content for the day, which is a reasonably good Wednesday for middle of the week. And now that leaves me with the Thursday, Friday, nail out the content and then see what happens as far as Saturday is concerned. But what I have to say is that this heat, bordering on 50 degrees centigrade heat with no air conditioning whatsoever, does most definitely drain you. So as soon as I've got this video edited, I may very well just shut everything down and try and get some sleep tonight. I'll probably switch a fan on in the bedroom just to have some airflow across my body, because it's just unbearable. Near 50 degree heat, humidity as well. I mean, I've just moved away from a fan for 3 minutes and I've got the sweat pouring off my face at the moment. But anyway, if you're also in a place that's as hot as this, I know Italy is slightly hotter than what we are here in Spain, staying hydrated is the optimal thing to do, and I'm going to go and smash in another half liter of water right now. Anyway, have a super productive day of content creation on your side as well, and I'll chat to you tomorrow, and let's see how we can build and develop our content creation businesses. Me doing my best to help try and motivate you, and you motivating me in return. So let me know how well you're progressing on your side, and stay awesome and smash out the content.